Genuinely believe we should start playing Lisandro Martinez in the midfield and give it a try, right? Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Extra Half. We are back with another one of those videos where we talk about what do we expect from United uh, for the rest of the season. I think we did the transfer summary in the last video where we said we are 6 out of 10 for the window, largely because of not signing a midfielder and also getting in players late. Uh, and that has affected our performance already this season. We are out of the EFL Cup and we have dropped points which we should not have. So we are in, but now we know what our best team could be given that there are no injuries and what we have in front of us in terms of tournament and in terms of the matches we're going to play. And I think large parts of it will be one game a week. So we have that in front of us. And I think it makes sense to predict or get us what's the expectation from United should be for the rest of the season. I know I'm wearing an Arsenal jersey, but I love jerseys. I have jerseys of 10 plus teams. So don't be mad at me. I'm a United fan throughout. Uh, but yeah, so that's it for what we want to talk about. I would directly jump into something that I feel should be the template or should be the lineup for the rest of the season for United. And I'm gonna go through it because I just feel this could be a bit controversial as well. I have been on Twitter and I've heard opinions and I have reflected back on opinions where the most striking piece of this could be Lisandro Martinez in as the defensive midfielder. Right. I'll directly start there. Why do I feel that is right? What do we have in midfield? We have Casemiro, we have Ugarte, we have Menu, and we have Bruno. We made a lot of videos. We've pointed it out a lot of times. Bruno does not fit in the midfield, right? He does not have the defensive discipline, and he wants to be everyone around the pitch. And when you are that kind of a player, it's good for you to be up at the top as a number 10, right? And the way Bruno plays, we need him closer to the goal. We do not. I know he's really good at doing the quarterback role where he just distributes the ball, but I just think we cannot compromise for that quality over the fact that he is not disciplined enough to be a midfield in Amarin's system. So Bruno cannot play there. What do we have left? We've got Casemiro, we've got Ugarte, and we've got Menu. My problem with Casemiro is I think he will be my first choice in most of the games, but he does not have the legs to finish the game, and that is what we have seen. He's not finished any game so far in the league that he has played. He started all the games, but he has been subbed off. And I just feel Amarim also looks at it and says, okay, Casemiro probably his last season, but we have to make use of what we have got. And he thinks Casemiro can play in those games because it's one game a week, so he can play that. So even Casemiro is not your best option. Then you've got Menu. Uh, my problem with Menu is again he cannot be your only defensive midfield player, right? Because he is also someone who likes to get up the pitch. He's like someone who wants to get on the ball, but he's not very disciplined, defensively sound either. He can control, he's good on the ball, right? And he's good with his distribution, but he's not necessarily good with his defensive attributes, right? And he's not physical enough to do the pressing, to win the duels. I just feel like that he does not entirely fit what Amorim's profile is, but I don't think Amorim's profile should be very strict. It could be flexible, and Aminu, given the player he is, can play in there. And then we have got Ugarte. Now, ideally, Ugarte would have been perfect for Amorim's midfield. Physical, has the stamina, young, can play in both the boxes, but I just feel his performances this season have been very disappointing, right? And I think I started the season saying Ugarte would be one of those midfield players in the two, and then we go and sign someone else. But he's not looked good at all. He I just feel it's important that we uh, give him time, but do not start him in important games. And we have got City and Chelsea in the next two games. I don't think he starts for me. He could come off the bench. You know, we're winning. We need someone to just win the balls in the midfield and do the running. Probably then he comes in. But I don't think Ugarte will be the player that Amarin goes with at this point of time. So in the midfield, none of the options that we have are concrete enough. So, when I look at it, you think of Lisandro Martinez as a player, and what do you think of? Brilliant on the ball. Probably, I mean, you could argue Bruno is better than him, but probably the best passer that we have, right? Technical. Second, because he's played as a center half, he has already the defensive attributes, right? He has the positional sense. He is physical. I think the reason I would not play him in center half given his three season is some of those headers, some of whenever the ball's being in the box, if a striker is more physical than him, he'll end up losing that duel, right? He'll not win the headers because of his height. And that is one major issue I have with playing him there, right? So you take that out and use his attributes to the best of it. So you use his passing ability, you use his physicality nature that he needs. I think he has the stamina to play 90 minutes and run back and forth in the midfield. I think he's got a really good left foot, so he could be one of those options that get you the goal from the midfield as well. He got the goal against Fulham. I think he got the goal against Liverpool as well. So he did get us those goals. So I just think it makes sense to play him up the pitch and to take out the one issue that he has with his height and to win, uh, you know, uh, goal balls in the air. So you take that out and you use it to his best quality. Now it's a blessing in disguise, kind of making the best of the situation that we did not sign a midfielder, but you put Martinez in there and try for the season. I just think this season, given that we do not have Europe, given that we are trying to build, given that we have signed a lot of young players, given that we are letting go of a lot of players at the end of the season, Bruno will go, Casemiro will go, I think Luke Shaw could go, Maguire could go, uh, the goalkeepers could go. So there are a lot of players that will leave at the end of the season that have been in the team. Dalo could go for a long time. So this season should be learning the best of what we have and whether they fit in Amarim's plan or not for long term. And this should be the starting point of it. I genuinely believe we should start playing Lisandro Martinez in the midfield and give it a try, right? Maybe not against City, maybe not against Chelsea, but say for against Sunderland, right? That is one of those games, say against teams which are at the lower end of the table, say like against, uh, you know, West Ham. We have already played Burnley, but say against Leeds. These are the games where we could start with this, and I genuinely feel I have a really good feeling that Lisandro Martinez could be our midfielder uh, under Amarim's system this season. And he could be a brilliant tactical change that we do this season. What that means is Bruno has to go up the pitch. And that brings us to our second controversial take on what the lineup should be is Cunha will have to sit on the bench a lot of times. Now, I don't think this will work. I think this is a very difficult thing to manage. But I just feel we need a definite striker. Sesko is that definite striker, and I think we need to play him as much as we can. And what that would mean is you've got Sesko in your striker. I think on the right 10, you'll have to play Mbumo in because it just makes sense to play someone who's left footed on the on the right side, right? And he could drift 10 and, you know, get the assist as well as the goals. So makes sense to start Mbumo there. And Bruno Fernandes, you cannot drop Bruno Fernandes out of this Manchester United team. No matter what we say about Bruno, people like him, people do not like him. There was an idea of letting him go for 100 million this season. I don't think so. He is the most important player in this team, no matter who you sign. You could have signed Erling Haaland in this team. You could have signed Isak. You could have signed uh, Bellingham. You could have signed Mbappe. I don't think they would have been willing to come. But I just think this is a player who has in the last 5 seasons been our best player. He has dragged our team out of very uncomfortable games, very uncomfortable periods in the season, and helped the team get better. The reason we did not go into that relegation fight, I don't think we would have been in a relegation fight given the size of the club, yeah. But the reason we finished 14th, and I think we finished 14th or 15th and not 17th, is because of Bruno. The reason we went deep in that Europa League is because of Bruno, right? It's not just last season. We had a 2022 season where we win the first title. We finished third. That's on Bruno, right? So we win the FA Cup. Bruno plays a really important part in that. So Bruno is not someone, unless you decide to sell him and unless he's injured, you would want to put him on the bench a lot. Manchester United play well when Bruno plays in the team. No matter what position you want to play him, you could play him as striker, 10, midfield, right back, right wing. He's played all of them, and I think Bruno has to start there. Now, I don't think Cunha will sit out every game. I don't think Mbumo should start every game, right? So it will be a good mix of Bruno, Mbumo, and Cunha. Uh, you know, making those substitute appearances for each other a lot of times this season. The worst problem is that we do not have Europe. Now we have too many number 10s, uh, and we do not have enough place to play them this season. And I just think that could be the reason that it affects Martinez's ability, the shift of Martinez from center back to midfield, right? Because we have too many tens, and the reason we brought Bruno back in the midfield was also to fit Cunha and Mbumo in. And then we've got Mountain as well. And I also think Xerxes plays the number 10 better than he plays the number 9. So I know a disaster class in, getting the transfers in, but now we have to work with what we have. So I'll start with Ses. So if I have to summarize it in the attacking side and things, you start with Sesko as a striker. You play striker. You do not play false nine and all that shit. You start Sesko in there, and you play Fernandez and Mbuma as the number tens. But then from game to game, you change and you play Cunha, and then you play Mount, and you keep rotating between those four. And in between games, right, you could just push Bruno deep, right? And maybe substitute Menu out or substitute Martinez out, right? Or do things like shift around the team in itself so that everyone gets time, but then we do what's best for the team. And I think playing Martinez is doing best for the team, and playing Bruno up at the top is doing best for the team. Then we come back to a left wing back and a right wing back. I think there's no doubt Dogu is our best left wing back, and we should play him. One of our best last second half of the last season, right? And there should not be any doubt, right? I think we have tried Dallo in the last match, but I just think Dallo is not having a great last 15, 16 months. And even still, if he has, it's his best position is as the right wing back. You play him there, not on the other side. So, I mean, I'll pretty much have Dogu nailed on for the left wing back, unless he's really poor and injured. You play him there. And Ahmad on the right side. I get it. I think my only problem with that is I saw against the games against Fulham where Fulham were attacking a lot from Ahmed's side, and he was not really tracking back. He was not really putting in the defensive effort. In a game like that, or in a situation like that, you would want to play someone who's more defensive. And now we have got Dalo, we have got Mazraoui fit back as well. So maybe in that situation we change. But Amarim's system has always been about wing backs being attacking and wing backs being, goal creators and not so much as defensive wing backs. So I'll have to start Ahmed in. And if you don't start Ahmed, it'll be the same situation like Garnacho. It'll be the same situation like, uh, you know, some of the other players that have left that they do not get time because of the system we are playing in, and hence they want to leave. I don't want that. So you play Ahmed in there, right? And game to game you change it. If it's a more defensive game or uh, a game against a top six opposition, you probably play Dalo or Mazraoui in. But I think I'll start with Ahmed in most of the games. Now let's come back to centre backs, which should be the easiest of all this. A left-footed player should play on the left side center back just for the balance of play, right? And I think Luke Shaw has looked really good this season in the game so far. Also, we do not have a lot of games, right? We do not have Europe, one game a week. He's not a part of the international setup, right? So he has time to stay fit and to play one game a week, right? So I think I'll play him there for most games. We've got Eden Heaven in as the backup, right? We've got Martinez probably if Shaw is unfit, and if you want to start, I'll probably move maybe back Martinez back into Shaw's position. But let's start with Shaw there. Delit and Euro have pretty much nailed on their places with their performances. Euro is our best center back, right? And Delit, I think the only option could be to play Maguire in, but I think Maguire leaves at the end of the window, at the end of the season. So maybe it makes the sense to have someone play there who is probably gonna play for more seasons for United, and that's Delit. And he's looked good. He's not looked bad. I don't think there's anyone doubting Euro's position over there. Now the only concern would be where does Mazraoui fit into this? But I don't think he's someone who thinks that's a problem for him to not play every game. Uh, so yeah, this is the best outfield 10 players I think that United should start, right? It's a bit controversial, but I just think that that's what's best for United in terms of learning, in terms of the project that we have, in terms of how Amorim wants to play as well, and player capabilities. Now to the goalkeeper. I think this is one of the easiest ones to do, given how Onana has performed and how poor Bandy has looked in the games we've played so far. So Lemons new, I don't know, maybe look at three games and say, oh, even he's worse than what we had. So probably that goes back to playing Bandit in here or Heaton. I think we have spent on a new goalkeeper, and so let's start with Lemons and see how he performs before making a change. So this is my lineup. This is a this is a bit odd take on what the lineup should be. I think a lot of the lineups will have Bruno deep in place of Martinez and have Cunha and play like that. I just feel, and once Martinez is fit, Martinez replaces Shaw. So so I think a lot of will be what is the most straightforward team that we want to play in. But I just think we should have a longer goal in our mind. This is not a season we're trying to win the league. This is not a season we're trying to win uh, trophies as such. This is a rebuild season with the team we have, and let's do our best with what we have for the next season and the seasons to come. So I just think with everyone that we have in our place and with the transfer that we have, this should be our team. I'm really excited for the likes of Lisandro Martinez to come back and to start playing for United. I think he's very important. He's not been fit. He's not been lucky with injuries, but I think he's very important to the team. The one other player that I would want to fit in the system, but I can't really with the players we have is Xerxes. I think he's brilliant on the ball. Uh, he could be one of our playmakers, but I'm not sure how to fit in because we've signed too many number 10s. And I'm not really sure where to put him. But yeah, he'll be a good substitute of the bench. The likes of him, if Bruno and Mbumo starts the way I have put in Cunha off the bench, Mount off the bench. I just think we have good options to, go win most of our games. And so that's the expected lineup. What do I predict for United this season? Uh see, putting into perspective, we do not have Europe. We do not, we're already out of EFL Cup now. I think United should go strong in most of the league games, and that means having enough rest, having enough time to prepare, and have enough time to enough motivation to do the best in that game. Like I think at times at the last season we were like, oh, we have the Europa League final to play or Europa League knockout games to play, and we could win that tournament. So maybe let's go easy on the league games. We did that. A lot of teams do that. So we do not have that this season. So a league form should be relatively better. Oh, what I've seen, I'm really impressed with the way we have played. But I've been really disappointed by the in-game poor performance that we see for 15, 20 minutes. And that has cost us the Fulham game. That costed us the game against, almost costed us the game against Burnley, where we had that 15, 20 minute spell where they started attacking and we did not have the midfield control, and all of a sudden they have two goals. So I think I've been disappointed more with that and not so much as how the team has played this season. But I just feel now that we're stable enough with what players we have and what we want to play, how we want to play. I think we play better football in most of our games than we've seen for the last 6, 7 months. Uh, Players being fit is key. I think I've heard Dalo has pulled out of the international break. I've also heard uh, the injury concerns to Mount and Cunha, of course, on the previous game. But Cunha could be not a serious injury, but Mount definitely looks like he could be back after the next international break. Uh, Martinez, not really sure. Still not sure, and it doesn't make sense given he's a very injury-prone player for us to rush him back in. But yeah, those three, four players I just think look like could not be starting for the game against City or Chelsea either. But yeah, I just think we have enough depth this season to go do well in the league. Uh, I just think with all the teams that we have in the league and the windows and the amount of teams that are going to play in Europe, I think United really have a good chance. And I'll have my fingers crossed on this. But I think United really have a good chance to finish in the top four this season, largely because they do not have Europe. And I think, except for that midfield issue, they've solved for their attacking issues with signing the players that they have. Uh, and the center halves really look one of the best in the league, right? Alongside Arsenal. United's defense, if you look at Liverpool's defense, looks shabby. Uh, the issue with United's defense has been the goalkeeper. No matter what anyone says, it's been the goalkeeper and the fact that we do not control the midfield, so we'll end up giving up a lot of chances. But I think Delete, Euro have looked superb, and we just discount that because we end up conceding 2 goals to Burnley. We discount that because we ended up conceding that goal to Fulham, and we lost to Cripsy. We just think our defense is poor. I don't think our defense is poor. So I think our defense is strong enough for us to finish in the top positions. And then we have made those attacking signings, and we have one game a week, right? And it's also relative that some of the other teams have, uh, Europe to play. They still have EFL Cup to play, right? A team like uh, City, I think they've not solved for their defensive issues. A team like Liverpool have not solved for their defensive issues. Uh, Newcastle, I just think with a lot of new players coming in, the strikers, I'm not really convinced with their transfer window so far. You look at some of the other teams, Spurs, I think they'll play really good football, but I just think it comes down to uh, do they have leaders within that side to, uh, win them games that are difficult? I don't think that, and that was the problem within Ange as well. Uh, so yeah, I just think I'll do this whole where the teams will finish in the league later, but I just think based on the players that we have, based on what I've seen this season, and because we do not have Europe, I just think United have a really good chance to finish fourth or fifth, right? And I think fourth and fifth should be enough to go into Champions League. So yeah, that's my prediction. I think I could be wrong, but I'll do a prediction video for all the teams and where the teams will finish in another video. But that's it for this video. I hope you like it. Also, I'm starting new, and it'll be really good if I have people join and support me, grow, and come up with more such videos. I'm not trying to be a football expert. I just think I'm reading, watching games, and coming here to talk. So it'll be good that if this community grows and I have more people supporting me. So go like, share, and subscribe to this channel so that it motivates me to make more such videos and come up with more such controversial takes. But yeah, takes that could well work for United. If Ruben Amorim goes and sees this video, I think he'll understand that he should start listening to Martinez. But yeah, that's it for this video. We'll connect back for some other videos. Bye.